The pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. That is pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston radio personality Lou Blasi.
All right, we have the cast of characters. Look at this crowd, Louis. Look at this crowd. Just unbelievable. And quite
this
frankly,
is new ground for us. This is a lot of people.
Yeah. But I really do think I am kind of the best looking guy in the
neighborhood.
I mean, I think so. I mean, Ellen thinks I am, but what the hell?
We'll have to talk to her.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. We are thrilled. This is our National Sports Collectors Convention show. These are the guys that just make it all happen. Joe Drelich, Brian Capola, Jimmy Ryan, Shane Wynn Shane. You're the actual marketing director of your company for the entire national. What is the name of your company? What do you guys do? I mean, I know you're all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I work for JBJ, right? That's I am now doing the marketing and communications operation for these guys. So I do what they tell me to do.
All right. And then the self-proclaimed GOAT in the middle, Derek Grady, kind of helps us put it all together from Heritage Auctions. Derek, how are you today?
You know, and when Brian, Jimmy, and Joe have a big question about promoting shows, you know, they're just blowing up my phone. No, I'm kidding. They've never asked me one thing about. I've been friends with all of them for a long time. I don't think they've ever asked my opinion one time on a show, but they've done such a great job in their own individual shows. Joe with the Phillies show, Jimmy and Brian with the White Plains show. It's not shocking to me that the national and yeah, we're in a unprecedented time with all the new collectors, but they're running it. What they have to go through to put this show on it's monumental.
I mean, you guys, how long have you had it now, you guys? 3 years?
Yeah, that's the third, yeah.
This is your third year. I mean, it has consistently gone up in quality, in attendance. I mean, you guys have done a great job. But before we start, I got to tell you a funny story. Lou and I were talking. Rico's not here today. I don't know where the hell he is, hanging out at some cigar store. But
It's on a golf club.
Last week, you know, it was kind of funny.
Canadian smoke, probably.
Rico, last week, I got a call from Paul Borges, PB Collectibles. Paul's a great guy. He says, geez, I'm at the Red Sox game, and it's Rico Petroselli night. I says, Paul, Rico never tells Lou or I anything, ever, right? Never mentions it. So it was his night. They were honoring him to be up in the Legends Suite, and he schmoozes. You guys know how it is. Schmooze with the corporate people, sign some autographs, all that good stuff. And the Red Sox pay them handsomely. They pay them pretty handsomely. Unfortunately, if you don't show up, you don't get paid. So what happened was Rico was on his way to the ballpark from Nashua, and he got stuck in a traffic jam because there was a police something going on with the police. So he was stuck. He was stuck in a traffic jam for 2 hours. And he got to the ballpark. By the time he got to the ballpark, they had already honored him. They had pictures of him on the Jumbotron and all of that stuff. But he wound up not getting paid. So I said, so what are you going to do about it? He says, I tell you honestly, I haven't, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Rico's a Christian. And he said, I have not sworn like this since I went 0 for 32. And dead serious. And so now he's negotiating with the Red Sox so they pay him for the gig. We'll see what happens.
Wow. You just made all that public. That was.
Oh, that's okay. No. Rico knows. He certainly knows. Trust me, he certainly knows we were going to talk about it. All right. Let's talk about the National. Joe, we're going to start with you. Kind of give us an overview. some of the things, the new wrinkles that people are going to see? And obviously, you guys have been working this for a year already. Just kind of give us an overview of the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, the National is about the cards, right? So it's always going to be primarily about the collectors, the dealers, and the cards. And, with regards to new activations or new things that we have going on, we have an expanded Hall G. If anybody was at the show last year, upstairs is Hall G. You take the main escalator right in the front lobby upstairs. And last year we had about 75 8-foot dealer tables in that space as a test pilot, and it was wildly successful. So we were able to expand upon that and create a 150 table space along with about 10,000 square feet of corporate space, where we have about 14 different corporate activations up there with new brands. And we're really excited about that. The upstairs pavilion has a real interesting international flair to it. We have dealers from, I believe it's 12 different countries exhibiting up in that space. We've got a nice presence of soccer, which is perfect timing for the World Cup. I know we have a really some high-end Formula One, F1 dealers, which people have been asking about. Pokemon TCG is represented as well. And again, the other beauty of that space is it's allowed us to clear the deck a little bit of the waiting list. The National has a really extensive waiting list of dealers that have been patiently waiting for some of them multiple years just to exhibit and set up at the National. So that's a real exciting thing for Jim, Brian, and myself to be able to help activate everybody and get their cards out on display, because that's what makes the National exciting too. Is we come in like a tornado, for a 2-week tornado, and we set up this amazing display. Probably it's got to be the best display in the world, with partners like Heritage, who's Derek's on today. Heritage does an amazing job. But yeah, we get to set this up, and we're just as excited as everybody else, because when it comes down to it, Jim, Brian, and myself, we're card guys, we're collectors, we love it. So we get to walk around and see all the new dealers that are exhibiting for the first time too. So, I guess I would say is Hall G is the highlight. There's also some upgraded components to the show. Again, it's always about the cards. So we never want to overpower the show with activations, but our stage has been really seriously upgraded from the stages in the past. We have a really cool hobby tribute area. I'll let Shane expand on that, what that's all about, but we're really excited. Jim, Brian, Shane put a lot of work into the design of that. I can't tell you how many hours went into developing it. I know I'm kind of being cryptic about it, but I'll step away there and let Shane jump in.
Well, go ahead, pick up on that, Shane.
I can tell you how many hours. A lot. Yeah, no. Thanks for teeing that up. So we've got something really cool that's going to be up in Hall G this year, and again, with the point being that this is everything we do is with the lens of the hobby in mind, right? And we realize that with the explosive growth of attendees and interest in sports card collecting, you've got a lot of these younger generations that are getting into it, but they don't really know the history of it. And because a lot of us have been around a long time, and we've got access to people like Phil Regley, who is something of a historian, we thought it'd be nice to put together an exhibition in Hall G that's called The Evolution of Sports Card Collecting. So we now have a sort of museum quality exhibition that people can meander through up there, that starts in the 1890s and cool. Roots it, right? Tells a story that really the history up until today of sports card collecting, how it's grown, how it's evolved. We weave the National in to that storyline once we get to the 1980s. But I think people are going to find it really engaging, really interesting, really insightful, and I think a lot of people are going to learn a thing or two that makes them fall in love with the hobby even more. So we're super excited about that.
Derek, Joe made a comment about the Heritage. It's not a Heritage booth. It's a Heritage exhibit. I mean, the last couple of years, man, you've blown people away. I mean, it's like literally a museum on wheels. Can you share some of the tidbits or
You know,
teasers for
when
this year?
before I even came to Heritage, Chris was big on, working with the National. That's our once a year to go all out. It's very expensive. I mean, we have 5 overnight security guards at least ourselves. With the National has their own guards, and you got drones flying around, and we're still, because of the million, we bring 40-50 million to these shows. And I think it was a few years ago or 2 years ago where we decided this is big enough for us to bring in entertainment and Hollywood and some of that stuff. And what and believe me, if you could pull back the curtain and see bidders in some of the entertainment sales, we have one going off today with the lightsaber with Luke's hand and a Willy Wonka ticket. And if you saw the crossover that people like myself, Joe, Jimmy, Brian, that have been in this hobby forever, we like rock and roll. We like entertainment stuff. We've all seen the movies, right? If I had enough of a budget to buy other stuff, but I'm so absorbed in sports, I would love that stuff myself. But we're seeing that crossover, and it's also probably, as much as people love seeing our great sports artifacts, I am hearing from the sports people that they enjoy looking at our entertainment. And they love looking at that stuff. And it's, by the way, it's paid us back dividends by spending, a ton of money at the National, with the marketing, with the PR, with every part of it. And we get to meet our clients. We take the full staff there. Provenzale organizes it with his team, and they do an amazing job. And we get complimented by other dealers, people that I would never think, who they compete against us on a regular basis, and they'll come over and say, you have the best booth in the show.
Well, you guys do. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Brian, you've seen changes. How many years have you been attending the National, Brian, as a dealer, as a collector? And I mean, how many years have you been going?
I'd say about 26.
So, I mean, looking at that snapshot in time right now, I mean, you got to be proud with what you guys have done and the changes that you've seen over the years. I mean, it's like mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Back in 2000, it was a giant card show, right? I mean, the corporate activations were nothing in comparison to what they are now. And, COVID reset the market, as we all know, and which is wonderful. But the show itself the loins of the show are just so phenomenal. And the market is so great. And, JBJ got to step in at the right time and put some more energy there. When you have partners like Heritage and they build their corporate booth, and it's museum is probably an understatement of just how insane the artifacts are in there. But I mean, just like there's like 6x6 or 8x8 wood pillars holding up this
Crazy.
temporary, this temporary structure. And, not only them, but like, eBay's there doing the same thing. Golden's there doing the same thing. And for somebody who's got fresh eyes walking into their room, it is so powerful, the message that they get. And
it's really it really is overwhelming. Jimmy, do you guys, I'm going to ask you this, Jimmy, do you have a specific role? I mean, you guys, the three of you, are nonstop for the entire week. But do you have specific roles, like Joe's handles one thing, you handle one thing, Brian handles, or do you guys just share the load?
Well, we started out with the vision of Joe does corporate, Brian does technology, and I do show functions. But we are cross-trained and help the three of us out. We all work together, three of us help each other out inside of our own areas. And we also handle new projects as they come on together. And we're a pretty solid team. But we started out, like I said, division, and then we come together.
Louis, jump in here, by the way.
I've been trying to decide who to ask this question to, and I think I'm going to ask it to Brian. Someone hires you as a tour guide. It's their first trip to the National. They're coming. What advice do you have for them? How do they run the weekend to the National for their first time?
Yeah, go to the ATM machine and get more money. So, well, I mean, that part is true. What do you do? Well, obviously build your list of, things you have to see, but I don't even know if you can go in there with a structured plan like Disney World and just say, we're going to hit these 3 rides and then have lunch. I just think you start going down the aisles, and there's just so much. There's just there's so much inventory. So if you have more than one interest, you're going to be pulled in many different directions. This is a really hard question to answer.
It's overwhelming. That's the word I hear the most.
It is.
And it's overwhelming for me. I don't know if it was Joe or Jimmy. I don't think I saw one of them until like the last day of the show. How is that even possible? How is it even possible? And it's there. I didn't even get to go up to what hall is the new one, G. I didn't even get to go upstairs. And the last day, I finally made it back to the back of the room. And there's great stuff everywhere. It's not like they have this section that sucks. Yeah. Everything, it's so overwhelming. I don't even know how you could do that show in less than several days. And also, too, when you run into somebody you haven't seen in a while, this is where you gather with people, too. And you want to talk to somebody. If you spend too much time at somebody's booth, you might not get to see something else.
You know something else, Brian? I mean, Derek, you're making a good point because I have never, I could be wrong, but, you know, especially the sponsors of the show, they're all over the place. I don't think there's a bad spot for a dealer. There are so many people, there's no such thing as a bad location because everybody is all over the place. So I think that's a real benefit. But I want to ask Shane.
Hey, Tom,
I'm sorry.
Hey, Tom, real quick. Sorry. I just wanted to touch on a couple of things that Brian said and Derek said. So I want to go backwards just for one quick second. The one thing that when Brian was talking about the Heritage Museum, the coolest thing about that to me is that it's actually all for sale. So for me, that's my favorite part is that when you go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, you see all these amazing artifacts, or the Football Hall of Fame, you can't buy any of them. Yeah. That's the coolest thing about Heritage is everything is on display, but at some point is for sale. And then the second thing I wanted to say, what Brian was saying about, you know, what do you do? I think the biggest messaging I'd like to send out is I'd like to send it out to the people that have never been to the National and are big sports fans, because I think, to Derek's point, you can just wander the National and something is going to click with you. There's no doubt about it. Whether you walk through corporate and you're participating in cool activations from the manufacturers, whether you're scrolling through the vintage card area and getting nostalgic about your childhood and see some cool stuff that you remember opening up Kellogg's or, post cereal stuff, and something at the National, if you're new to the space, you might be connected to the Pokemon TCG, you might be connected to the live selling pavilion. I really do think that, Lou, to your point, is just go in there with an open mind. Really, it's a cliche, but really comfortable shoes, access to the ATM, and just kind of let your own collecting passion just pull you in a direction, because it really can be overwhelming, but also fun. Absolutely. It shouldn't be looked at as, oh my God, like, what do I do? Where do I go? It should just be like a stroll in the park kind of a thing until you find something that you really connect with, and then you can spend as much time as you want in that space. So I just wanted to try to tie that all in with my own thoughts.
Shane, before we take a break, do you guys, I think this is really important, do you guys have a mechanism for, I'm on the floor, I'm shopping, I'm looking at just different stuff, but there's all kinds of things going on at the event. Is there any kind of a real-time mechanism that you had to let people know that, hey, this is going on here, this is going on at this time, rather than someone on a loudspeaker, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you follow us on X, which is at NSCC Show, you will have access to real-time information throughout the show. So leading into the show week, and during the show, if you're following us there and getting alerts, things that are happening at the show, like, for instance, a really cool activation happening on the Mike Burkus stage, for instance, we're pushing that information out in advance to people. We're also giving people alerts, reminding them on things like, hey, if you want to do trade nights tonight, now is the time to get in line. Here's where to go. So follow us on X, and you'll have the most real-time information that you need to be able to navigate.
All right, well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. The guys from the National are in the house, and the guy in the middle, the GOAT, is also in the house.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome.
1 second. The audio is fighting me a little bit here.
What?
Sorry about that.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We got more National stuff to talk about. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
In 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Joe Drelich, Brian Capola, Jimmy Ryan, Shane Wynn from the National in the house, Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions in the house. I don't know who wants to talk about this, but you guys have a great event partnering with Curtis Granderson. Who wants to talk about that and let us know how that's all going to work?
That's a Shane question.
Shane, yeah.
Go ahead, Shane. Run with it, brother.
All right. Yeah, so last year, if you recall, we created what we call the Youth Collector Clubs Initiative. And this was an initiative, we partnered with Curtis Granderson. He was here in Chicago, and he runs the Chicagoland Baseball and Educational Academy, which uses baseball to introduce kids to college environments, which is awesome. So he's very focused on education. We partnered with them for that reason. This initiative is designed to use sports card trading as a proxy for teaching kids a lot of really interesting life lessons. So everything from how to negotiate with an adult, right, to the true meaning of capitalism, right? Because sports card trading is probably one of the best examples I can think of pure capitalism still in existence here in the U.S. A lot of different lessons that you can learn as a kid by sports card collecting. And it's our way of giving back and investing in future generations and getting them excited about the hobby of collecting. So this year we're doing another event with him next Monday, the 20th, at Curtis Granderson Stadium. We're bringing between 40 and 50 kids from Chicago Public Schools. We've got a lesson for them, kind of a sports card trading 101 lesson. All the kids are going to get to rip packs, meet Curtis, hang out, be on the ball field, have a good time. But then that same group of kids is coming on Friday the 31st to the National. And in partnership with our friends at Sports Cards Nonsense, who are going to help chaperone for us, we're going to take these kids out into the wild on another lesson about valuation of cards, where they're going to get packs of cards, and the lesson is going to be to try to come back having traded up and create more value than you opened up. And Curtis will be there that whole day for that as well. So more kids coming and introducing more kids to the hobby.
Now he is going to be up on stage, I believe at 2:45 or 3 o'clock, I guess, on that Friday afternoon. So you can meet Curtis, and that's a great thing that you guys are doing. By the way, we are going to be broadcasting. Is it still the Burkus stage, or is it the main stage? Does it have a name, guys?
It's absolutely the Burkus stage.
Oh my Burkus stage. Yeah. So we are going to. Yeah, that's good. We're going to be broadcasting from the Burkus stage on Friday of the National from 1:30 to 2:45. I'm going to be there along with my special co-host this year is Gordy Bonkers. Gordy's a great kid, real vintage guy. So we're going to be working with him, and then we have a cast of characters: Derek, Joe Tomasulo, Joe Orlando. A bunch of guys are going to be joining us on the stage. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to talk about VIP tickets. Are the VIP tickets all sold out? Did I understand that?
They're all sold. They're all sold out. They sold out earlier this year than last year. Last year we sold out in July. This year we sold out in April.
What does the VIP? What does that offer you, Jimmy? What is that ticket specifically? Is it to every day, or can you explain?
Correct. So there's two different VIPs. There's actually three VIP tickets, but the first two are linked into autographs. There's the all access VIP, and there's the basic VIP. All access VIP and basic VIPs get you into the show an hour earlier every day. And there's also with the all access VIP, there is 18 autograph guests. With the basic VIP, there's 12 autograph guests that you can get. There's also a VIP party that happens on Wednesday, where we provide a nice food buffet, lunch, access to the VIP room all week long. So it's a pretty nice package to sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
How many of those did you sell?
There's 5,000. There's 5,000 VIP packages.
Holy cow! Wow.
And it's sold out.
Sold out. Sold out.
Is there a reason?
Sold out in April this year.
Is there a reason why it's 5,000 and not 7,500, or why it's 5,000? What is it too many people?
You guys limit it?
Well, we kind of limit it on purpose, because if you have too many, then you lose the VIP specialness, right? It's special because there's only so many limited. There's only so many people can go in the room at a time. Only so many people can go to the party. Some people get their autographs. You make it too big, it just becomes an ordinary package then.
And you have every dealer on the floor at those times too, right? So, yeah. Then there's it's
like a 1 of 5,000.
Right. Yeah. And then there's also 3,000 early entry packages that we sell, 5-day early entries. Same thing, you get in an hour early every day, but there's no autographs tied to it. It's just early admission to the show, basically.
Is that sold out also?
That sold out about 10 days ago.
Jeez.
Okay. Wow.
Awesome.
Last year we sold out the day before the show. This year we sold out 10 days in advance. Cleveland, going back a couple of years, we were still selling them at the show.
Interesting.
It just shows you how the show has progressed over the last 3 years.
Brian, talk about trade night.
It's a fantastic event. I mean, room full of young adults and adults actively trading cards. High energy atmosphere. It's held up in the ballrooms, 24 to 36, which is up the escalator. If you've been to Rosemont, you know where it is. Energy's phenomenal. eBay's a sponsor. If you've been to any trade night before, you know what to expect.
Shout out to Dave Marino from Reimage, who runs the trade night for us. Does a fantastic job at doing it.
So what I've heard from a lot of different collectors, and I know there's no way of stopping it, but this is the sanctioned trade night of the National, right? Sponsored by eBay. Then you have in every hotel that I was in,
right,
including my own, people starting at 4 p.m. and
in the lobbies,
4 in the morning, overtaking the lobbies. Is that, I look at it as, I cannot believe the strength in the hobby and the amount of people that are setting up their wares, coming from the National and saying, this isn't enough for me. This 9 to 5 or whatever you guys think is cool, or 9 to 6 that's great. Now we're going to have our own show. And they sit there till 3 a.m. sometimes, and it is mass chaos. I don't even know.
And Derek, just to add to what you're saying, I'll tell you what's really cool is in those lobbies, you've got 14, 15-year-old kids, some with their parents, but with friends and stuff, with their briefcases. And I observed, actually, we filmed a couple, I think it was last year. It's just amazing how they're communicating with each other. People, a 14-year-old kid maybe from Boston talking to a 14-year-old kid from Dallas, and they're shooting the breeze. They're talking to each other very respectfully, and they're doing business. Really cool to see.
But my question is, does that, I don't want to say annoying, but does that have anything to do with you guys, where you, Brian, Joe, Jimmy, do you guys not like that? Are you guys okay with it because it's not the sanctioned trade night? What is your take on that stuff happening?
I mean, we try not to allow other sanctioned trade nights happening inside of ballrooms and stuff like that. But as far as stuff happening in a lobby, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think people can't get enough of it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, these are future table holders too.
They are. It's great to watch people.
Yeah, the one area that we police heavily is inside the show, out of respect for the dealers.
Sure,
we absolutely. Not allow the lunch tables to get overtaken. That's a good tie-in for our security. Beef up again. We've compounded year after year the amount of security that we bring into the building, and we'll have the most security that we've ever had. And we had a tremendous amount last year, and I think we've doubled it again, just because we find that it makes everything run smoother. When you can't duck out that door to have a cigarette or take a shortcut to your hotel, there's just a uniformity that makes the show and the event run a lot better. And, so that's the one area we police a lot is inside the show. And we'll continue to do that because out of respect for the dealers, right, is the dealers want the transactions and want, the opportunity to see the cards that come into the room. So it's our job to try to provide that environment. So, but like Jim said, we kind of love the energy and the fact that they're doing these pop-up events, as long as they're not an actual like show that's off the back of the National, which we would have some say in, but trading cards till all hours of the night is pretty awesome.
Yes. And I think really, it's great too. It's unbelievable. And so my question for the entire group, including Lou and Tom, is I keep hearing, this is a bubble, that the sports card collect. I mean, you have cards that have gone up 800x, 100x, 50x over several years, right? And that's like the definition of kind of a bubble where prices go crazy quickly. And I have been defending that. I feel, and these guys are show promoters too, so they understand whether their crowds have been going up and their amount of different people are coming. I would argue this isn't a bubble. This was an underutilized hobby for the longest time. And when you look at sports gambling and you look at the amount of sports fans there are, For whatever reason, it didn't transition for people to collect like it did me, Joe, Jimmy, Brian, Tom, you guys, right? We all have collected, but other people just needed a little push, whether it's from fanatics, whether it's from, local hobby stores or local shows, or just the word getting out there on national. You see more national press. So my question for you guys is, do you think this is a bubble, or could you argue that this is maybe some prices in the modern will settle down, but this is just the beginning? We're getting more and more people every year, more and more people signing up for Heritage to bid. The credit watches are crazy during an auction. People bidding six figures.
Can I throw mine out first, if I may?
Sure.
Derek, that's a great question. And I think, listen, if I'm wrong, tell me, but I think that this hobby, like using you guys as an example, tying in with, and not by design, but people are really into, for instance, FIFA right now, MLB, NBA. And I think that the general people cannot get enough of professional sports today. And I think it's all transcending down into this hobby. So I honestly think that professional sports is really fueling all of this and people's love for professional sports. Am I wrong?
No, I don't. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you are. But I think we've got the amount of money that came in. The bubble was the 90s. That's in here now is probably 100x.
Yes,
of what it was. So that's holding everything firm. If that money doesn't move, nothing's going anywhere. So with all these other things, with new marketing and the internet and the interest, and there's a lot of things keeping us very strong here, which is wonderful. So that's my take.
Yeah, I think I see it as stability and education, and we've elevated both of those two areas of our hobby tremendously, right? So if you go rewind 10 years and you took a vintage box of trading cards that your uncle, who unfortunately passed away, gave you, and you took them to a card show to sell, you'd find buyers and they would be looking to pay 40-50% of market.
Yeah.
Now it's just completely upended and changed. You can use your cell phone and use an app and get actual data and have buyers that are just lined up to pay 70, 80, 90, 100% a comp. So I think people feel a lot more secure when they actually make their purchase, knowing that there's actually buyers there, which I don't think our industry ever had. And I think education is the other piece. A lot of companies have come into the space and they've developed systems to teach people how to collect and how to get information. And education is the key. And I think it's proven mostly by vintage trading cards. And I'll tell you why, because you see, and Derek can probably chime in here too, you see PSA 3s and PSA 4s of XYZ card, Mantle, Clemente, Koufax, pick any name you want, outselling 5s and 6s because of eye appeal. That's education. You've got to have a higher level of education of our industry to understand you want to own a PSA 3 versus a PSA 6, because that 3 is a much better quality card. So we didn't have that level of education didn't exist in our space. So I think people have gotten smarter. I think, Tom, what you're saying is correct. And I also think knowing that you actually have value. So let's just say we have a big event like the World Series and whatever two teams are in it, or the Super Bowl. I did that, right? I bought Sam Darnold cards because I didn't want to bet on the game. It worked out great for me. But the point is if Seattle lost, the Sam Darnold cards would still have value. They're not worth zero. If I bet $100 on the game, if I lose, that $100 is gone. If I buy $100 Sam Darnold cards, I probably still have $50 or $60 worth of Sam Darnold cards. And the fact that they won means I have $300 or $400. Those cards went 3 to 4x. So I think people are smarter. I think they're more educated. And I think, we've done a good job inside of our space of supporting it. So, to me, bubble probably, right? If the housing, doesn't work out, if the economy waffles, we're going to see some pullback. But I still think it's like anything else. It's like oceanfront property. The good stuff will flex, and then it'll shoot right back past where it was, because that's what it's done for the last 40 years. So,
Jimmy, what is your take?
I mean, I think these guys summed it up great. The only thing I could say is that, you know, when I got into this in 1985, people told me I was crazy because it wasn't going to last more than a couple of years. It was a bubble back then in 1985, and here we are 40 years later, and it's still going strong. So I think, as Joe said, you know, is it a bubble? Not a bubble, but it will be ups and downs. There always is in everything, right? If you look at the last 40 years of history of housing, like Joe just said, there's ups and downs in that, right? But collecting cards and our hobby is history, and people love history, and history will always stay. That's how I feel. It's always going to continue, I think.
Hey, before we take a break, let's talk about, and Shane, you can address this, the relationship with TriStar. I mean, you guys have a tremendous roster this year. It was mind-boggling. I started reading who's going to be there. My question is, who's not going to be there?
It's I mean, Jeff and TriStar have been great partners to the National for so many years, and they do such a great job producing that entire area every year. There's incremental improvements in all kinds of ways of looking at it, but like, you know, I'm locked into things like Tyson and Holyfield signing within a half an hour of each other, right? So like there's some interesting things that are going on from a story standpoint that transcend just one individual showing up and sitting down and signing things. Now you're starting to see, you know, a little bit of drama enter the equation, so to speak. So, you know, I feel like every year Jeff and that team get a little bit more creative in the way that they're shaping the overall day or set of days. So certainly it's something that every single person who's bought a ticket to the National should be going to that pavilion and buying tickets and getting memorabilia signed. I wouldn't miss it.
It's just incredible. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. The guys from the National, Joe D, Joe Drelich, Brian Coppola, Jimmy Ryan, Shane Wynn, Derek is in the house. We have one more segment, and we got much more to talk about. So hang in there, and we shall be right back.
Is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you are a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Okay, we are back with Derek and the guys from the National. Derek, by the way, you blew me off. And like the first question I asked you, if you could, you got the Platinum Night auction coming up. You usually display stuff at the National, and you blew me off. I asked you, can you throw some teasers out there as to some of the things that are going to be displayed?
It's probably, other than the Ruth Called Shot jersey and a Jackie jersey and a Joe Jackson bat that we had on display a couple years ago at the National, which I don't know that auction can be topped when you have a jersey that's $25 million. But this auction, pound for pound, is one of the best auctions I've ever seen. And, we owe that to our loyal consigners and the staff that is bringing in the stuff. Soccer right now is obviously huge. We have the Hand of God ball. Diego Maradona scored against England. It's gotten international press. Provenzo's actually taking it on Fox today. We have it on display at Fanatics Fest. It's going to be at the National. We have that estimated at the jersey sold for around 10 million. We have this ball estimated at 10 million. We also, so that's for soccer. It's an incredibly significant ball. That being said, there's a Hannes Wagner that's fresh to the hobby, that's been in somebody's collection for 40 years in an authentic. There's a 33 Gaudy Ruth in a 9. Okay. There's a 52 Mantle that's one of the nicest 52 Mantle 8s that you ever see. All Lee, Thriller and Manila robe. I mean, it just a Lou Gehrig jersey. Our Sandy Koufax jersey we have just got photo matched to the winning game of a World Series. That's one of the best Koufax jerseys in the hobby.
Very cool.
And so it just goes on and on. And it's not for, listen, I just mentioned stuff I can't even bid on. Okay?
Now, was that difficult, you answering my question?
No, but I'm saying there's stuff for everybody. There's items in there that are also $2,000. But I just mentioned the highlights go on and on and on. And, it's just come by the booth, see it, look at ha.com, go to the sports department. And, this is one of the best the team's put together as far as a Platinum Night auction.
One thing, I know, Joe, I know you guys have all, by the way, I don't know if you guys realize this, but the book that we're working on, Legendary Finds and Sports Collecting Treasures, it's been overwhelming, and we've worked with everybody in the hobby, private collectors, all of the auction houses, and this is a really great compendium of all the great finds in the history of this hobby. And thanks to the national, thanks to PSA, you guys kind of really got us over the hurdle to get this project going. And I want to thank you that. I really want to thank you guys for that. And you guys are going to be featured as well as PSA right on the cover of the book. So I think you guys are going to be pleased. Derek has been great. Orlando has been great. Guys like JP Cohen has been great. We're so excited about this book project. And
Do you know why you're excited, Tom? Somehow you get.
I'm sure you're going to tell me why.
Yeah, you get all us to volunteer our time. We all, your staff works for free. Great. Can you imagine?
I buy you guys lunches. What are you talking about? I buy you lunches all the time.
You bring me subs, and then you sell 1 million books, and you go live on your own private island. It's great, Joe. Wouldn't you love in your business to have your staff work for free constantly, Jimmy? And this is incredible. How does he do this, Lou?
Tom's doing the hobby solid because it's part of the education piece, right? Tom's part of the reason the bubble's not going to burst. He's putting his book out there. But look at it that way, Derek. You're tying it into the bubble not bursting.
He does thank us.
That doesn't work for me, Derek. I get paid.
By the way, Jimmy needs a Wagner, T206 Wagner for his set, so I know he'll be bidding on that one.
Yeah.
Let me ask Joe a question, because Derek kind of reignited a question I've had for years about the national, and you can spread the question around if you want, but it's about the security measures at the national. But my main question is, and I know you have the number, feel free not to tell me if you don't want to tell me, how much money is on the floor at the nationals on an annual basis?
Cards and money, and just money.
Just value in whatever's on the floor, whatever's being distributed on the floor.
Right, we probably can't count that high.
You can't, I mean, how can you even
probably can't count that high, guys?
How can you calculate that?
There's over $1 billion easy. It's not even close. If we're 50 million on display, I mean,
and Brian knows this. The ATM machines spit out well into the 7 figures.
Wow.
Yeah. The ATM machines.
So Tom, this year we loaded the ATM machines with only hundreds.
There it is. That's how we're rolling.
It's on another. It's just on another level. It's just on another level.
This is great. All right, listen, Lou. Why don't you tell? By the way, everybody has to have insurance. You don't have insurance, you're a knucklehead. Speaking of insurance, Lou, how about our guy Tom Finkelmeyer?
Well, the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr. He's the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting. And with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management, Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some companies that just sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
And I also want to talk about Derek's good friend and our good friend Michael Veriali and his unique business, Sports Cards, the Hobby. Michael takes a kind of a unique. He's got kind of a unique take on the hobby. He's more of he's an advisor. He takes pride in educating collectors. He holds seminars in libraries and talks about the ins and outs of the hobby. And he'll advise you on making sound decisions based on your collecting needs. You can follow him on Instagram at Sports Cards, the Hobby, or on Facebook. Plus, check out their super rare collection of, he's got an amazing collection of Ken Griffey Jr. sign rookie cards. He'll do appraisals for you. Again, visit sportscardsthehobby.com or call or text 631-339-0900. That's Sports Cards, the hobby, educating, buying, selling, and trading. You know, for you, whoever's watching, if you've never been to the National, there's nothing there that you can't find. If I'm missing stuff, guys, vintage cards, modern cards, supplies, thousands of supplies that you can buy out there. You need card grading. There's how many different third-party authenticators are going to be there? Third-party grading services. Anybody
Everyone
know?
For certain, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, PSA,
Everybody.
yeah, Beckett's, JSA,
SGC.
SGC, Tag, you know, and like David Adams, Steel City, Blowout. Those are the biggest wax distributors.
So they're all there. They're all gonna be
yeah,
there.
they're all there, and every auction, Pristine Auctions and Clean Sweep and Leland's, and it just the brand names in the hobby are everybody's here.
You know, there was one other thing, Shane, I wanted to ask you about. You know, when you're on the floor of the National, it's very easy to get overwhelmed and confused. I want to find out where the Heritage booth is. I want to know where Pristine Auctions is located. I mean, unless you have a roadmap, how do you do it? Do you guys have a mechanism for people to be able to find certain places?
Yeah, so our good partner Ludex, that hopefully everybody knows. Ludex created an interactive map for us that we've now been running, and if you download the Ludex app, you'll find a link right on that front page above the fold. Click to the National, and it'll give you all kinds of options, but one of them is the interactive map, and you can zoom in on that on your phone. You can click a booth, it'll tell you exactly what that booth is. Or for a lot of the corporate partners, like Heritage, for instance, you'll see their brand and you'll see exactly where their booth is, where they are in the hall that you're located in. So I would encourage everybody to bring that along with them, because it definitely makes it easier to navigate, especially back to our conversation earlier about how overwhelmed people can feel when they come in. If you are a person with a game plan where I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here at minimum, you can literally map out for yourself a progression using that map. It's super helpful.
Very cool.
Shane,
Joe, I want to ask you.
I'm
Joe,
sorry, Shane.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lou.
Patrick in the chat was asking about the X handle as well, because he wants to follow along when he goes to the National, some of those alerts that you talked about. So just repeat the X.
Yeah, it's at NSCC show. That is our handle on X, or if you're on X and you search National Sports Collectors Convention, that handle will come up as well. So definitely do that.
Joe, what's hot right now, in your opinion? I mean, like we're going into the National, vintage, modern, ultra modern, memorabilia, or is a little of everything?
Well, again, I think I'm going to go back to what I said about card grading, right? I think eye appeal is the hottest thing going right now. Overall eye appeal of a card is where the hobby's trending. If you just look at auction results or sales on any internet platform, the grade is becoming less relevant. It's certainly relevant, so I don't want to say it's not relevant, but people are willing to spend a lot of money on a lesser numerical number for a better looking card. To me, that's one of the hottest trends I would say that I've seen from the vintage side. The other side I think I would say is obviously Shohei Ohtani's a slam dunk. His stuff just keeps setting records, and really rare pieces and cards of his keep going up for sale. I think that probably from the modern side, I think it's ever changing, right? Is absolutely on fire. It couldn't be any more in your face. So I think that people are gravitating towards that. I've heard a lot of chatter about that. TCG and Pokemon, I know we're a sports show, but TCG and Pokemon has become a beast. There's so many modern athletes right now that are collecting TCG, Pokemon, and sports as well. So I think that's certainly something that has to be recognized. I mean, I think most of the card grading companies report that they're grading as many, if not more, cards from that arena than the sports side. But in particular, any particular player, I think it's really just, if I had to pick one, I'd say Ohtani still. It would be the hot one.
You mean he has surpassed Rico?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Final words, Derek. Final word from you regarding the National.
I mean, these guys have done a tremendous job, and I was, at the beginning of the show, I was joking about how much time they spend. They spend the whole year doing this, and now it's crunch time. They prep the whole time, and now it's game time, and they are really good at doing this. They have a great team. If you have questions, you seek one of them and their team out. And they're very helpful. I know in the corporate area, they have Paul, right, Joe? Comes around and handles. I mean, anything, a light fixture doesn't work or something doesn't work, a computer thing, the wire, anything, it's handled immediately. I mean, it's true professionals running this with these guys right here. So it's like, my hat's off. That's all. To you guys, but no, best of luck, because obviously, it seems like it's a lot of fun and they'll set records again, but you don't know what happens behind. When they have a major fire to put out, because that's what it is at these shows. There's always going to be major fires to put out, right? Or small fires,
Brian,
these guys will be great.
For us paper people in the world, which is the majority of us here on the call, we have Heritage produces a catalog for us every year, and in there is the interactive map also. For those who don't want to download it in LUTX.
Good call.
Yeah, there we go. So that's handy. So make sure you pick up your catalog.
Shane, final words.
Bring comfortable shoes. Do not
Awesome.
bring shoes that the first time you're putting them on your feet or when you're stepping floor on the National. Break them in.
And if you have arch problems, go to the Good Feet store. They're very, very good.
There
Jimmy?
you go.
We
Jimmy,
joke around between the three of us now and say that, or the four of us, including Shane here, and say that last year's crowd was just a warm up for the crowd we expect to get this year. The hobby is just so hot, and the crowd's going to be so big this year. And everybody just have a good time. Come enjoy it and have a good time.
Yeah.
Take your time. There's no pressure. Go through the show as you want to go through the show at your own pace. Comfortable shoes, bottle of water, and have some fun.
I'll tell you what, for me personally, that Friday that we do the show is the best. That's the best hobby day of the year for me personally, and for Ellen. We enjoy it. You guys are fantastic. And then we always end the day with getting Joe Orlando to spring for a wonderful dinner at Gibson's. It doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better. With that being said, guys, looking forward to seeing all of you guys. Derek, as always, man, I haven't seen you since when? Wilmington, right? Since I gave you the sub.
I feel like we talk all the time, and we do this stuff every couple of weeks, so we're good.
And by the way, Derek will be on stage with us along with Joe Tomasulo, Brian Dwyer from REA, Brian Drent, Joe Orlando, whole cast of characters. Looking forward to it. I'm going to see if I can grab one of these 3 or 4 guys, but that's next to impossible, but we'll give it a shot. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming on. To our viewers and listeners, I can't thank you enough for the support that you guys have given us. We're in our 11th year on the air. Just mind-boggling.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Louis, great job. And with that being said, we love you guys. Happy collecting.
See you soon.